Okay, hello friends. Today from this Dine Paths classroom, we are going to discuss an important topic that is neoplasia. Okay, today I will be building some fundamentals of neoplasia, what actually it is, what are its hallmarks. Okay, so let me first write the topic name, that is neoplasia. Neoplasia. See guys, to be to make life easy, because some people say, most, yeah, not some people say, it is actually some, this topic is on a drier side. Okay, so I would like to make it simple and smooth. Now neoplasia, basically, first to understand the definition, neoplasia is basically uncontrolled, disorderly proliferation cells. This combination, uncontrolled, disorderly, uncontrolled means you can't control it, disorderly means everything in your body is in order, and this this neoplasia, neoplastic change is happening. That means something should be happening in a disorderly fashion. Proliferation, that is something is dividing, which is not either showing control nor it is showing any order. Fine. See, to make this statement analogy with a normal situation, your body, whenever you have a cell, for example, this is one cell, it will divide by mitosis and will produce two. This will produce mitosis and produce four. But once you produce four cells, the coding which was inside it, the programmed code which is inside it, that has told this cell that you have to make two cells. You have to make two cells. That means initially you started with a growth factor promoting genes. Initially you started with growth factor promoting genes. But in the end, once your task of two cells is completed, you will bring a suppressor gene. You will tell stop. That means this gene should stop the proteins, this gene should stop the new cytoskeletal formation, isn't it? Everything should stop when you have finished this. If you have programmed the cell to produce two, if you gave a growth factor to produce two cells, it should be only producing two cells. If it is producing more than that, it's not following the inhibitory signals. Once you are driving a car, once you're driving a car, the car has brakes, the car has accelerator. You are running the car, you are using the accelerator. Once you have to achieve a speed of 50 kilometers per hour or something, whatever you like. Once you've reached that 50, you only want that 50 to happen, and you don't want to enter into 52, 53, 54. So what you will do, you will apply the brakes. Same concept. We'll be learning in a hypothesis. Same hypothesis is there in the neoplasia. We'll be reading that. So you should have that mechanism of control. That means control is important. Control is important. Fine. Is it clear? Is my voice audible? Yeah. So these are the things which you should understand. So there should be a controlled proliferation of cells. There should be an order of the cells to proliferate. That means everything should go in a mechanism way. But in neoplasia, you are having a new growth. What is new? New means new. And this plasm means creation. Creation. There's something new creation coming up. Okay. And now in your books, you may have come across the words that is tumor. That is tumor. Okay. Tumor means swelling. If you go into its Latin meaning, it means swelling. It means swelling. So, sir, is every tumor a neoplasia or is every neoplasia a tumor? See, basically the way the Latin people said at that time, this tumor is mostly, remember, tumor is I don't say tumor is not a perfect word to call something and no a cancer cell or something. But tumor, the meaning is, for example, this is my hand and you hit it with a hammer, like the Tom and Jerry show. You hit it with a hammer. What will happen? They show like this, isn't it? When he gets that tumor, that's inflammation. What happens? He starts having like this, isn't it? Have you seen Tom and Jerry show? Yeah. So when he hits, so you have swelling. This place also has more accumulation of fluid. This place also has erythema, vasodilation, which led to the increase in the size of the organ. But you won't be preferably telling it that it's a cancer. Are you able to understand? Now I give you another example. This can't be a neoplasia because it's not that cell has done something. It's a response. It's a response to the injury. Now I give you another example. Which is the fastest growing tumor in the body? This was the question which was asked a long time back to me and I answered it. So, fastest growing tumor in the body is fetus. If you say like this, this is the this is the tumor, then I should say in that terms that fetus is a tumor. Why? Fetus is having division, cell division, actively dividing, producing new organism in the, so in the female's body you are having a tumor in that way. But it's not like that. So fetus is not a tumor, isn't it? Guys, fetus is not a tumor. From one cell, from zygote, you are making so many 16, 32. Then he should be also a tumor. No, that's not the case. Okay. So it's not neoplastic that, the process of development is a neoplastic change. No, it is a hyperplastic change. And hyperplasia can be normal. I have taught you in general principles of pathology that hyperplasia is, the increase in the number of cells, and you have physiological hyperplasia going in the body. For example, you have a damage at a local site of your hand or something, and that damaged site will be producing a response. It will be undergoing fibrosis or it will be regenerating. So that is a process of hyperplasia, but not a process. Yeah, if that thing where you are actually insulting, for example, you have insulted this point, if you do the insult and that insult is such that that insult is letting this to transform into new mass of cells, then I can say that insult is carcinogenic. That insult is carcinogenic. So ideally, it should not happen like that. What should happen? If you have pink cells, you should regenerate like pink. You should regenerate that injury like a pink. But if new mass of cells is coming out, then it's not a normal thing. Then I should say neoplastic change is happening. And they are disorganized. They are breaking the basement membrane. They are, joining with their, they are not remaining with their group. So for example, you are living in a society. You are living in a society. So this is a colony. Okay, this is a colony. Let me take a sparkle color. Okay, because girls love sparkle color, so I will be using this sparkle color. So you are living here. This is house number 1, 2, like that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me take 6 houses. Now this is the area. For example, this is the secretariat area. This is the secretariat area. This secretariat area, 6 houses are living, and this is a he is a doctor. This is a doctor. This is an engineer. This is a civil servant. This is a administrator. What happens? Normally, everyone was living with happy. I will make happy days. How to make happy days? Sparkle days. Happy. What happy? They are not fighting. They are living in peace and harmony. They are sending their foods and all that, sharing with like we do, isn't it? So they are actually happy. What happy? Isn't it? They are happy. So when they are happy, what would happen? One would love to be in this colony, two would also love to be in this colony, three would, there is no fights going on, nothing. But suddenly what happens? This fourth one has changed. For example, he becomes the murderer. He becomes the murderer. Let me make him red. He does not deserve sparkle, isn't it? Or he's a thief. He transforms himself into a thief. Okay. Now, is this colony for him? What would the is it doing a different thing from this colony? See, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 are contributing to the normal homeostasis of this colony. They are contributing to the normal homeostasis of this colony. Huh? And this thief, what he is doing, he is disturbing everything. He is having fights with this guy. He takes drugs, for example, whatever he does. So he has turned into an outlaw. He has turned into an outlaw, isn't it? He is not following the rules of the society. He is not following law of the land. So what will happen? Definitely, there should be some changes happening in this colony. They should take an action. To house number one, house number will definitely try to take an action so that it can remove this thing, so that they can remain safe. But what if this thief is so smart? What if this thief is so smart? He is working under the cover of being good. He's working under the cover of being good. Okay. So he is good to you, everything, but inside he is doing something anti-social activities. He is doing some anti-lawful activities. So that is where a concern rises. That's where a concern rises, that the body does not know that what cell is doing. That is our biggest concern. That is, I think that's with the worst prognosis that the body can face. So this is the concept that you have to understand. So same thing is happening, that this neoplastic cell, once you change anything, you are not actually, you don't remain, you no more remain the neighbor. And one thing is there, see, and this society would not like to have a safety net. Even if a new thief wants to take a house here, either he has to change himself. So that means that neighboring cells, what is the environment of that area, that is also, that depends on the type of the antigens you have. That also depends on the type of the antigens. So what is an antigen, sir? Antigen is never a foreign thing. Antigen is never a foreign thing. So you should say what is a foreign antigen. Then you can say it is a something which has come from outside, which does not belong to the body, which comes in the body, and body will try to do inflammation for that, isn't it? Okay. So this is the concept you have to understand. And if you are a self antigen, for example, your name is John. Your name is John. So your body, your name is John. So your every cell of the body should have John antigen, J antigen, J antigen, J antigen. The identity card of the body cells should be J antigen, J antigen. If they see a different antigen, so your body will start doing a NK selection, because NK cell is a scanner. Natural killer cell is a scanner. It scans the body. It's everyday checking. It wants your body to remain protected from everything. So every day your cells are getting checked. The CD markers, clusters of differentiation, they are checking it. Okay. So if they see a different antigen, like you have a disease or something, they will alarm the whole body. They will say, okay, you have to take we have to take an action, immunologic action. Are we clear, friends? Okay. So this is the concept you have to understand. Now this neoplasia. Now this was just an orientation I was giving you about the books, how they are writing this thing. If you refer to the standard textbooks, Robbins, Rubens, whatever you like, but they are the standard textbooks. You should read them. Okay. This is the concept of a neoplasia. The word I was explaining. And now this transformation, what you have done, you have an uncontrolled disorderly proliferation of cells. You have made some cells. Okay, you have made some cells, and that can transform. So whatever new growth you have done, that can transform into a benign condition, that can transform into a malignant condition. Whatever you have learned in the past, please, if you have any doubts with that, remove that from your brain. Understand it in a fresh manner. Okay. So whatever cells you have made, this has a fate. These cells have a fate. Either they can transform to a benign or they can go to the malignant. Benign or malignant. Understand? What cell groups can I call benign variety? Which cell groups can I call a malignant variety? That's the question, isn't it? That's what you can think. Your brain strikes. What cells can I call benign condition or benign variety? Which cells can I call a malignant variety? Okay. Talking about the benign tumors, if I talk about the benign tumors, I hope you now understand the basis of the tumor. So here I am talking in that way. Okay, the mass. I am taking tumor as a mass. Okay, but you know inside that, yeah, tumor, there is a difference. That neoplasia is something, tumor is something. Okay, so let me take benign tumors. What are benign tumors? Benign tumors are that uncontrolled proliferation of cells, that uncontrolled variety of cells, which two properties, they have two properties. Actually, it's not a property. They are not having this property. Okay. So number one, can't invade. Second thing, can't spread to remote areas, remote sites. They are also uncontrolled proliferation of cells. They are also, they can be a proliferation of connective tissue. They can be a proliferation of epithelial tissue, but they are having their margin. Their margin is what? What is their margin? It is limited, isn't it? They are not they are not spreading to some other site. They are not getting metastasized. They are not getting metastasized. So mostly we use now one thing will be there. You will be saying, sir, every OMA is a benign tumor. That's where the doubt comes. Mostly every benign tumor we use a suffix. The suffix is OMA. Okay, I can speak so many OMAs, but here I want to make you understand there are some exceptions to this rule. But majority, 90%, we have OMA. So whenever you see OMA, it's a benign variety, except some which I will be telling you. Okay, so if you have that example, we will be revising. Okay, so don't worry. It's basically an introductory class. That's why I'm taking it like this. So benign tumors can't invade, can't spread, can't invade, can't spread. Fine. Is there any doubt? Now, what is the meaning of malignant, sir? Malignant means these tumors, malignant tumors are those tumors. Let us write. I'm going slow today because some people think that it's a tough topic, so that's why going slow. Okay. Malignant tumors. Malignant tumors, some books will be writing for this as cancer direct. They will be writing cancer like this. Okay. But I would like to request you or also tell you that whenever you are in your wards, whenever you are in your hospital, never, when you are discussing a case of tumor, any cancer, never speak this word, this cancer. This word should be removed from your tip. I feel like that. Okay. Should always say mass. Never speak in front of the patient like tumor, cancer, he is having a renal cancer, he is having a colon cancer, breast cancer. No. You should talk. If you have to talk, you have to convey your message to your HOD, your senior, or something. You should speak in a way mass. Okay, mass. Mass means something is there, mass is there. He won't understand that. So unless and until you don't know what the mass is and you directly diagnose it with cancer, then it's it's pathetic. It's not, no. not ethical. Okay. So you should always say mass. I also use the word mass. Mass is, something I can nicely, don't have to think about anything. Mass, keep that repeating in your tongue that there is some mass. So which mass is there? You can then say renal mass. It can be carcinoma. So carcinoma, he won't understand mostly. Okay. So mostly these discussions are not like that. We will involve the patient unless and until we don't diagnose. Have to first have an it's basically a multidisciplinary approach. We need to have a suggestion from a pathologist. We need to have a suggestion from an oncologist. We need to have a suggestion from even a radiologist, and also. Okay. So this is the way. So malignant tumors, cancer, they call it. So what is the malignant transformation? So that means these two properties should be present in them. Definitely common sense. So malignant tumors are that uncontrolled proliferation of the cells which can invade the tissue. And second is they can spread to remote sites. That is, they are not limited to their primary site of origin. Primary site of origin. I have written double primary, okay? So primary site of origin. Okay. Either you can write 1 degree or something, it's your choice. Okay. So primary site of origin is this place, and the tumor has spread to the somewhere else. So this is the concept of metastasis. Metastasis. Fine. Done. Now, there are two terminologies. I'm making you first, helping you to understand, the histological perspective, because many of you are not very well versed with the histology maybe. So I'm trying to give it a link to the histology because it's all about cells. Neoplasia is all about cells. Even you go to any medicine, you study any medicine book, you take any oncology book, it's all about cells. So if you're not understanding what is happening at a basic level, then it's difficult for prognosis, everything. Yeah. See, basically you have seen every tissue has some components. If you take one tissue, this tissue will be having some structural units. If I make like this, and it will be having also the supporting cells, isn't it? Some blood vessels, some ECM. Let me draw the ECM, extracellular matrix between them, isn't it? I hope you know this from your first year MBBS. So this is the extracellular matrix acting as a cement and everything, that heparan sulfate, all those things. So those things you are using for this ECM, extracellular matrix. You have some nerves also. Okay, you have some nerves also. You have veins, you have arteries. You have veins, you have arteries, and you have cells also. Okay, I'm just giving you a wow. I have drawn ECM inside the cell. Okay, so these are the cells. I hope you understand what I mean. Now, every tumor, so tumor will arise from a cell. It will arise from a tissue cell. Okay, so every tumor will be having some. One is called parenchyma. Another is called stroma. What is the difference between the two? Parenchyma means the cells, actual cells. For example, my cell is, I have a skin. So skin. I'm having what cells? What cells I'm having the skin? Epidermal cells, isn't it? Epidermal cells. If I talk about the hepatocyte, I am having this liver, I am having hepatocytes. If I talk about the kidney, I'm having, yeah, what is the basic unit? Nephron, isn't it? Isn't it, guys? So brain, we have astrocytes. Brain, we have, those cells, glioma cells. Okay. So those will be supporting. Those won't be parenchymal cells. Neuron will be a parenchymal cell. Neuron will be a parenchymal cell. for the brain. So I hope you understand. So these cells, which are proliferating cells, which will proliferate, they are called parenchyma of the tissue. How we will understand, guys? So if I say, what is the parenchyma of liver made up of? You would say hepatocyte. I will say, what is the parenchyma of kidney made up of? You will say nephrons. If I say, what is the parenchyma of the heart made up of, for example, myocytes, cardiac myocytes. If I say, what is the parenchyma of the muscle made up of? Muscle cells. But that does not come in that way. That comes in a connective tissue way. Okay, rhabdomyosarcoma and everything. Stroma is basically the connective tissue and blood vessels. This is how I can make the life remember. Connective tissue plus blood vessels will be stroma. Connective tissue and blood vessels will be the stroma. That means these are something supporting something, isn't it? They are actually in that supporting material. You have put the cells. You are arranging some cells in the supporting material. The supporting material. Are we clear? Okay, friends, have you understood this? This is some basic idea of neoplasia. Otherwise, it's difficult to understand neoplasia. It would be very much difficult. It's actually a conceptual thing, something, neoplasias. There is neoplasia is in every topic. When you go to the renal pathology, you go to the cardiac pathology, you go to liver, take every organ and take their cancers. Everyone is having a cell. Every organ is having a cell. So think how many cancers you have to study. If you don't know this basic, some people feel shy reading this basic concept, but I think this is the basic fundamental of this. This is what first I can give you this concept. Second, I can tell you is second thing what I can use is tumor parenchyma. Tumor parenchyma. If a cell divides, can I say it is a? If a cell divides, can I say it is a clonal expansion of these cells? If I say a tumor parenchyma has a tumor. For example, parenchyma has. So now there is one thing that you have to understand. That is, which things will you be calling a sarcoma? Which things will you calling a leiomyoma? Which tumors will be called liposarcoma, melanoma, angiosarcoma, leukemia, lymphoma, adenocarcinoma, papillary carcinoma, rhabdomyosarcoma, nevus, mole, lipoma, osteoma, hemangioma. These all you have to, there is simple thing to understand. There is one simple thing, medicine is all about common sense. It's not about learning. Okay. So simply to understand, to make life easy, if you have, I hope you remember that histology. We have epithelial cells. Epithelial cells. If a tumor is coming from the epithelial cells, if I have already recorded the lectures on histology, you can today have a look on this epithelial cells. Okay. So tumors arising from the epithelial cells will be called carcinoma. If a tumor arises from epithelial origin, we say it's carcinoma. Epithelial cell, carcinoma. Easy. Now you have all these connective tissue, and I hope, who can tell me what is the origin? From which embryonal cell we are making the connective tissue? I have taught already in the histology, guys. Anyone? Mesenchyme. So if something is from the mesenchyme, very good. If something is from the mesenchyme, we say sarcoma. If something comes from the mesenchyme, we say sarcoma. Okay. Easy? Clear? Now we would be naming them. Okay. There is one concept, one topic, one small name, that is desmoplasia. What is desmoplasia? Desmoplasia means If I have a growth and that growth is having abundant amount, there is abundant collagenous stroma. If the stroma is more collagenous and that too in abundance. Okay. For example, I was having these cells, and between these cells I was having this connective tissue. Now, if I start a tumor and I start a positive, I induce these cells to produce these cells. I induce these cells to produce these cells. What will happen once I'm inducing this parenchymal cell? This parenchymal cell will also induce the stroma to produce more collagen. This condition, if a tumor is showing this condition, listen to my words, if a tumor is showing this condition, we say desmoplasia. So desmoplasia is basically an abundant amount of collagenous stroma. If the stroma becomes more collagenous, we say it is. Who is doing it? The stimulated parenchymal cells. These stimulated parenchymal cells. These stimulated parenchymal cells are doing this. Can you tell me a tumor which is showing this? I don't know why I love medicine. Beautiful subject. It is seen in pancreatic adenocarcinoma, and cholangiocarcinoma. So the examples include pancreatic adenocarcinoma. Can we understand carcinoma? Can we understand the word carcinoma? What is the carcinoma? What is the carcinoma? The carcinoma is for what? Yes, sir. It's for what? Epithelium, exactly. So what is adeno for? Adeno stands for gland. Yeah. Adeno stands for gland or not? I hope you have read this. Okay. So I'll be telling you, just give me a minute. Okay. I'll be proceeding towards that. Okay. Glandular tissue, if I have a epithelium, glandular tissue, papilloma, papillary carcinoma. Okay. First, I want to make these concepts clear. These minor concepts, that is desmoplasia. Okay. And second example which we can write is, what is the second example we can write? Cholangiocarcinoma. Cholangiocarcinoma. That's in the GB gallbladder. Okay. Cholangiocarcinoma. Okay. So if I see, now let me come to this. If I see something, some mass is arising from the benign epithelial cells. If I have a benign epithelial tumor from the glandular region. So gland can be epithelium, secretory epithelium, isn't it? So glands. So glands, if I have a tumor arising from glands, I have a question for you. Will I call it adenoma? Or listen first. Do I call a tumor arising from a glandular cell an adenoma, or do I call a tumor which is showing a glandular pattern adenoma? So it's basically both of them. So if a tumor shows glandular pattern, that will be also called a adenoma. And if a tumor is arising from glandular tissue, we will call it adenoma. Then what should be a papilloma, sir? Then there should be a concept of papilloma, isn't it? What is papilloma? What is a papilloma? Papilloma means, exactly, it's a finger-like projection. So any benign tumor with finger-like projection will be called papilloma. Then there is also from a finger-like projection, I remember, that is polyp. What is a polyp, guys? Polyp means basically a growth showing a visible projection, and the base would be a mucosal surface. The base would be a mucosal surface. And this finger-like thing is protruding in a lumen. For example, we have nasal polyps, or we have polyps in colon. Polyps in colon. So if I have this colon, so I have the lining inside is a mucosa, isn't it? This is a mucosa. So this mucosal lining is the base, and from this there is a finger-like projection that is called papilloma. Sorry, this will be called a polyp. This will be called a polyp. Are we clear with these terminologies? We will understand this. So these are the things you have to remember. So if I say now, listen to me, have a full understanding. Just have a look at me. Okay. If I say I have a tumor, if I say I have a tumor which is arising from epithelium, you will say dash. If I say I have an epithelium arising I have a tumor arising from the epithelium, you will call it dash. Now you can't write carcinoma. That's what I want to make you understand. You would say, sir, whether it is a benign or it's a malignant. If a tumor is arising from an epithelium and it's a benign variety, we will call it adenoma, or you can call it papilloma. Understand this thing. And if I say a tumor is arising from epithelium, but it is a malignant variety, you would use a word adenocarcinoma. Okay. Or even that word which we are using, the papillary carcinoma. So I would write papillary carcinoma. Are we clear, guys? Benign adenoma, malignant adenocarcinoma. Adenocarcinoma. Is it clear? So like that we will be doing. This was for the epithelium. Now if I say I have a tumor of blood vessel, I have a tumor of blood vessel, you would again say, sir, whether it's a benign or a malignant. What you would ask yourself? What you will ask yourself, guys? You are not answering to me. I feel the things are going into sleepy manner. What you would say? You would say, sir, whether it's a benign or a malignant. Guys, is the voice audible? So you would say whether benign or malignant. So blood vessel, you know, blood means heme. Blood means heme. And blood vessel means angio. So we say hemangioma. 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 Okay. Sir, what should be the malignant variety of this blood vessel? Angiosarcoma. Angiosarcoma. What? Angiosarcoma. Are we able to understand, guys? Because why sarcoma dash? Sarcoma dash. Malignant words used for this. What are the two malignant words we use? Carcinoma, sarcoma. Carcinoma for epithelial origin, mesenchymal origin, sarcoma. Both are showing us malignancy, malignant. Are you able to understand? So if I say angiosarcoma, once you saw sarcoma, it means, sir, the tumor is a malignant origin from the mesenchymal origin. For what? Angio. If you see oma, sir, benign variety. For what? Hemangi. So we have blood and blood vessel. So we are saying preferably, we are explaining it that we have a blood vessel tumor, that is hemangioma. Hemangioma. Now I take smooth muscle cell. Smooth muscle cell. Now, smooth muscle cell, we have, you would say, sir, muscle means myo, exactly, muscle, but leo. Okay. If smooth muscle shows a benign, you would say dash. We would be adding oma. So leiomyoma. Benign variety, leiomyoma. Malignant should be dash. Only second year people. Malignant should be dash. Malignant would be leiomyo dash. Malignant variety of smooth muscle cell would be dash. So everyone is not replying. Okay, only those people will remain in the class who are replying. Okay. It is no. See, carcinoma is being used for epithelial cell, but smooth muscle cell is a connective tissue. That's what you have to understand. It's from a mesenchyme. Exactly. That's a beautiful answer. Leiomyosarcoma. Leiomyosarcoma. See, two tips you have to keep in your hand. Whether it's an epithelium or it's a connective tissue and that mesenchyme. If it is coming from an epithelial cell, I would use the word carcinoma. Isn't it? And that carcinoma is mainly for malignancy. We are using it for malignant. You won't be seeing any carcinoma in the benign varieties. They would be in the malignant varieties. And I will be teaching you the exceptions also later on. Are we clear, guys? So you have to understand this. Okay. Is there any doubt? Do you need to remember anything? Do you need to remember anything? We will be doing a revision in the end. Okay. So that we make you more well versed with this. Okay. Now I have this skeletal muscle. I have a skeletal muscle. I have a skeletal muscle. Can I write striated? Striated muscle. Striated muscle will be having, we use a word rhabdo. Rhabdomyo. Now you will say, what is rhabdomyoma? Benign variety of striated muscle or malignant? Is it B or M? Exactly, it's a benign variety. That's a beautiful answer. And if I say rhabdomyosarcoma, we would be saying malignant variety. Exactly. Fine. For I take fat. Fat is lipid. Lipoma will be a benign variety. Liposarcoma will be a malignant. Liposarcoma will be a malignant. Now, I take any connective tissue. Connective tissue will be having, if I take fibroma, it is a benign condition. Its malignant variety will be fibrosarcoma. Will be a malignant. Okay. I take a melanocyte, your skin pigmentation cell. Melanocyte. Melanocyte benign is called nevus. Nevus or mole. This is a benign variety. Malignant variety, here you have to understand. Melanoma is the malignant variety. Melanoma is the malignant variety. Are we clear, friends? Is there any doubt in this table? Yes, sir, we have a doubt. No doubt, sir, because I will be revising it. To make your life, it should be on the tip of your tongue. It should be on the tip of your tongue. That's it, what I want. And I will make it on the tip of the tongue because we are doctors. We need to have a conceptual review of everything. Okay, guys, let's begin. I say benign condition of gland. Glandular epithelium is called, the word used will be dash. If I have a gland, don't close the copies, guys. Close your copies and talk to me. Adenoma, exactly. Adenoma. If I say it's malignant variety, tell me a malignant variety. Malignant variety of glands. Use your brain. Don't try to impress me from your copy and notebooks. Adenocarcinoma. Adenocarcinoma, exactly. Adenocarcinoma. Beautiful answer. Adenocarcinoma. Fine. So which part you have left? Which part you have left? Which part you have left, guys? Okay. Now I tell you, I have a lipoma in my hand. I have a lipoma in my patient. So what you will say? What two things will you say? What two things will you describe this? Exactly. No. You have to say it's a benign variety of dash tissue. That's how you have to speak. Benign variety of dash tissue. Yeah, lipid. Should say it's a adipose tissue, benign condition. So adipose, benign. This is what total you have to tell me. That's it. Okay. I tell you I have rhabdomyosarcoma in my hand. Rhabdomyosarcoma in my hand. Tell me about this. You have to say B or M. That's how. Exactly. That's a malignant, sir. How malignant? Because, sir, sarcoma and connective tissue. That implies that it's a malignant variety. If I could had written rhabdomyoma, rhabdomyoma would be showing me a benign variety. Exactly. Benign variety. Are we clear? So rhabdomyosarcoma would be a malignant variety of what? Striated muscle. Striated muscle, guys. Striated muscle. Skeletal muscle. Isn't it? Very good. So if I say I have a osteoma is dash, you should say two things about osteoma at this level. At this level only, not its bigger detail. Beautiful answer. It's a benign, sir, because oma and benign and which you have to say bone. Exactly. So bone is an osteoma. And then what should be the name for the malignant variety? What should be name for the malignant variety? It should be osteo dash sarcoma. Exactly. It should be sarcoma, osteosarcoma, because sarcoma is mostly for that connective and all that. I hope you are able to get my point, what I want to say. Yeah. Another? Should I ask another? I say I have a papilloma. I have a papilloma. Speak something about this papilloma. Beautiful answer. It's a benign variety and what? You say that thing which a first year child can also say, isn't it? An NKG boy can also say by seeing this oma. But you should tell us something different. Yeah, epithelial cell. Exactly. It's a epithelial cell variety. So epithelial cell. And if I say I have a papillary carcinoma. Papillary carcinoma. What does it mean? Papillary carcinoma means a malignant. Exactly. It's a malignant and what? Malignant and glands. Sorry, epithelium. Malignant and epithelium. Now, if I say adenocarcinoma, adenocarcinoma, adeno should be a malignant variety and exactly and epithelium. Exactly. So it should be epithelium. Okay. Have you understood this? Any doubt in this? Who has any question can ask me. What about the melanoma? What is melanoma, by the way? What is melanoma? Benign or malignant? Benign. It's a benign. It's a benign and what? Melanocytes. Not malignant. That's where you have to confuse. It's not it's not that the melanoma is malignant. It's basically the neoplasia which is explaining it. It's basically the neoplasia which is explaining. Okay. Now I want someone to differentiate or tell me what is hamartoma without using Google and without impressing me, because I don't get impressed. I study for these standards. So what is hamartoma? Lot of blood vessels outside the vessels. There is a new definition on this earth, isn't it? Lot of blood vessels outside of the vessels. So I want only second year people to answer. Yeah, blood clots. Okay, that's basically hematoma, guys. Hematoma. Hematoma means a local collection of blood at any site. That can happen in any injury, any accident, or any pathology which is leading to the collection of the fluid at a particular point. That will be called a hematoma. 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 Basically, I love neurology, so hematoma is our concern. In the neurology. You can check my video on neurology. I have made an MRI differences between the subarachnoid hemorrhage and epidural hemorrhage. You can check that video on the radiology on the same channel of Chambers. Okay. Yeah, I am talking about hematoma. So you are writing something in the mass of the lung. No, what basically hematoma is? Hematoma is an abnormal collection of cells, or I can say like this. Let me write abnormal tissue at a normal site. Yeah, this you can say. Okay, so abnormal tissue at a normal site, but I would like to say it in a now different way. Okay, so I would say it's a non-neoplastic. It's a non-neoplastic growth. That means it is non-neoplastic. Just happened. Why? Because the tissue got disorganized. The tissue got, it's not, it got, displaced, you can say. Okay. So it is basically abnormal amount of tissue present at a normal site. Okay. It's not that you would always say sir, blood vessels. It can be anything. It is found in lung. It is found in bronchial tissue. It is found in lymphoid tissue of the lung. It is found in cartilage. It is found in blood vessels. But what the meaning of hematoma is? Hematoma is basically the tumor, which is not a tumor, by the way. It's not a neoplasm. It's not a neoplasm. It is basically an abnormal arrangement of those tissue present at a normal site, which you are saying. Or I can say it is basically a non-neoplastic growth. It's a non-neoplastic growth which is present where, by the way, is this neoplastic growth organized or disorganized? This is what I want to answer. Is it organized or disorganized? It's disorganized. It's disorganized. Are we clear? So this should be clear. So you have an abnormal tissue. I can write this one also. Abnormal tissue at normal site. This should be written on your notebook so that you can pass any exam. This should be written. This one line should be written for your entrance exam, any licensing exam. So this should be written. Abnormal tissue at normal site is hematoma. Abnormal tissue at normal site is hematoma. So example is disorganized blood vessel mass, or it can be in the cartilage. It can be in the, I don't know why I love this. Robbins is very beautifully, he has written that. I remember cartilage and bronchial tissue. What else can we write? Lymphoid tissue. If you want to read pathology, learn from Robbins, the beautiful book and my favorite book, by the way. Lymphoid tissue. Okay. So we have a hematoma. Let me, there is another one, that is choriostoma. These are all non-neoplastic transformations. So choriostoma, what is choriostoma? Second year people, what is choriostoma? Without using the books, okay? Don't answer from the books. Answer me from your concepts. So choriocarcinoma is basically normal tissue at a different site. Normal tissue at an abnormal site. Normal tissue at abnormal site. This was abnormal tissue at normal site. That means this tissue is normal, but it is present at different place. B cell tumor, B cell tumor, not really. Basically, I can give an example of pancreatic tissue in a stomach. It's not about we are talking about a heterotopic rest. We are talking about a heterotopic rest. What he is writing in the book, heterotopic. Okay, so heterotopic rest. What do we mean by heterotopic rest? Aima, what do we mean by heterotopic rest? What is the concept of heterotopic rest? There are two words in the world. Yes or no? I am saying what is heterotopic. So, what is heterotopic rest? Heterotopic rest means no. Heterotopic rest means a mass of a tissue which is resting at a place which is not its local site. That is the concept of heterotopic rest. And this non-neoplastic tissue is basically located at a foreign place. For example, you live in India and you are living at the same place in Russia, for example. So you are basically a heterotopic rest. This is the concept of beautifully these books write, really. I get impressed by these Harrison and Robbins, very beautifully writing these things. So that is basically, so that they have seen, for example, this is the stomach, and in the stomach what they see is stomach is having a pancreatic tissue. Normally pancreatic tissue should not be there. If this is the head of the pancreas, the tail of the pancreas should be in this fashion. But pancreas is not there. Pancreas tissue is found to be in the stomach. We will call it choriostoma. That means you have gone someplace, choriostoma. Okay, I remember from Korea, I went to some place and remember I have gone to some other place. Okay, this is how I remember. Choriostoma. Or we see, if I check the nasal cavity, we see brain tissue in the nasal cavity. Brain tissue in the nasal cavity. This is also a heterotopic rest. Brain tissue in nasal cavity. Brain tissue in nasal cavity is a heterotopic rest. Are we clear? What else? What else? Yeah. Anyone? Thyroid tissue in liver. Thyroid tissue in liver, guys. Thyroid tissue in liver. Thyroid tissue in liver is a choriostoma, heterotopic rest. The concept of heterotopic rest. Are we clear? Okay. So normal at abnormal site, chorio. Normal thing went to the abroad, choriostoma. Hematoma, abnormal cells in normal place. There is another name, that is teratoma. Teratoma, guys. What is teratoma? Teratoma means a tumor which is derived from ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. A tumor which is derived from ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm will be called a teratoma. Will be called a teratoma, guys. Are we clear? So that means we call it a greater than one germ layer tumor. Greater than one germ layer tumor. Okay. By the way, what sites can be involved in teratoma? The most common site is ovary. Most common site is ovary. What is the next most common site? What is in the, this is in the females. In the males, it's testes. Testes. So in thorax, you will be having this in thorax, you can have a midline tumors. Teratomas can be midline. So what midline tumors are? I can see pineal gland, hematoma, pineal gland. They can be in the pineal gland, they can be in the thorax, so we say anterior mediastinum. Okay, what else? They can be in the ovaries. Okay, these are also in the midline, somewhat midline, and testis. Why you made penis, sir? No, so that you can remember testis. I can't make two things here because testes are also two, ovaries are also two. So how to explain? So I made simply this. Okay, so this is how you can remember hematoma locations. Okay, so they can be midline. You can say they can be midline or they can be close to midline. This is how you can say. I feel that these are so much far away from midline. Okay, but yeah, it's just a diagramical representation. I hope there is no problem in understanding. So you can call them teratomas, teratoma. You can call them, you had an adenoma in the pituitary gland, by the way. I remember that is called the pleomorphic adenoma of parotid gland. Pleomorphic adenoma of I have taught you in the I think oral pathology. I think in the last year students, I have taught you in detail about the oral pathology. You people don't study oral pathology. You think that we should keep it to the BDS students, dentistry. No. It's every organ of the body is your concern. So I told you in the pleomorphic adenoma, we were having some mixture of tissues. Did we see that last time? So that can be also called a mixed tumor. So that can be called a mixed tumor, but not teratoma. Don't call it teratoma. It's a mixed tumor. So remember, it's an example of mixed tumor. Fine. I hope you have understood this. Now I want you to learn today at home. I want you to go home and learn 6 hallmarks of cancer. Let us write. Learn 6 hallmarks of cancer, at least. So what are the 6 hallmarks of cancer? Let us write for you. Self-sufficiency to growth signals. Or you can write self-sufficiency to growth signals. Number 1. Number 2, insensitivity to anti-growth signals. Third, evasion of apoptosis. Number 4, sustained endurances. And limitless replicative potential. Or you can say sustained angiogenesis, and 5th you can write sustained angiogenesis, you can write here limitless replicative potential. And 6th should be tissue invasion and metastasis. I want everyone tomorrow to speak this with me orally. Self-sufficiency to growth signals, insensitivity to anti-growth signals, evasion of apoptosis, sustained endurance, limitless replicative potential in tissue invasion and metastasis. This is how you have to learn at home. And I will listen from each and every person so that This is so important that you can then understand what is happening in the cancer. So 6 hallmarks of cancer. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you have enjoyed this topic. So see you all in the next class with the next topic. So stay safe in Corona. Take care. Bye-bye.